Some encounters feel too real to be a dream, yet too impossible to be reality. These are the stories that linger, the whispers that follow, and the mysteries that defy logic. Tonight, we explore 5 chilling incidents that may never be explained. Stay until the end, but don't be surprised if you feel like someone is watching. Incident 1. The wrong reflection. In 2015, a woman named Evelyn moved into an old apartment in San Francisco. Everything seemed normal, except for the bathroom mirror. One night, as she washed her face, she noticed something off. When she looked up, her reflection didn't move immediately. It was subtle, a delay of a fraction of a second, but enough to freeze her in place. Thinking she was exhausted, she dismissed it. But over the next few weeks, the delay became longer. One night, as she turned away, she saw her reflection smile at her from the corner of her eye. The next morning, she covered every mirror in the apartment, but her reflection never left. She started seeing it in windows, in darkened screens, in places where no reflection should exist. She moved out a week later. Incident 2. The house that wasn't there. In 1987, a man named Robert drove home late at night through the countryside. He had taken this route hundreds of times before, but that night, something was different. A large Victorian mail house sat by the side of the road, something he had never seen before. Its lights were on, casting a strange glow against the fog. Curious, he slowed down. A shadow moved past one of the windows. Feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, he sped off. The next day, he returned during daylight to prove to himself that it was just a trick of his mind. But where the house had been, there was only an empty field. Incident 3. The radio that played on its own. In 2019, a college student named Isaac found an old transistor radio at a flea market. It didn't have batteries, but he liked its vintage look, so he placed it on a shelf in his dorm room. One night, at exactly 3:14 a.m., he woke up to the sound of static. The radio was on. Confused, he got up and picked it up, but the compartment was empty. There were no batteries inside. Then, through the static, he heard a faint voice. "Can you hear me?" He threw the radio away the next morning. But every night after, at exactly 3:14 a.m., he woke up to the sound of static coming from his phone. Incident 4. The man in the corner. A couple in London had been living in their apartment for 3 years with no disturbances until they bought a new security camera in 2021. One night, they checked the footage to see if their cat had knocked something over. Instead, they saw something chilling. At exactly 2:56 a.m., a man appeared in the corner of their bedroom. He was tall, thin, and unmoving, dressed in dark clothes. He didn't move, didn't blink. He simply stood there, watching them sleep. At 2:57 a.m., he was gone. Terrified, they checked the footage frame by frame, but he never entered the room, and he never left. They moved out a month later. Incident 5. The train to nowhere. In 1973, a man named Victor boarded a subway in Tokyo. It was late, the train nearly empty. As it passed through a tunnel, the lights flickered. When they came back on, something was wrong. The advertisements were different, written in a language he didn't recognize. The few passengers looked strange, their faces slightly blurred, their clothes outdated. Confused, he checked his watch, but the hands were spinning uncontrollably. Panicked, he ran to the doors, but the subway never stopped. After what felt like hours, the train slowed. The lights flickered again. When they returned, he was back in Tokyo, standing alone on an empty platform. The next day, he searched for records of the train he had taken, but it didn't exist. Some mysteries have explanations, but some never will. Are these stories just coincidences, or are they glimpses into something far beyond our understanding? Let us know what you think, and if you want more, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time, if you dare.